guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to take you through part 2 of my 2023 planner system deep dive, where I talk about my main planners. It's basically a hybrid of my digital planner and my half letter discs. If you guys saw the original video, if you haven't, I'll link it up here, talking you through kind of high level what the system looks like. And yeah, so I'm going to get right into it, show you how it's been working for me this year, show you obviously how I'm going to be using it next year, and then I'll also show you guys how to print from digital to paper, because I know people have been asking on my last YouTube video because they maybe don't have Instagram, because I did do a reel on it, but some people don't have Instagram, so they just want me to share here, and that's totally fine, and I will share it here as well. Okay, so let's get right into it. So like I said, this is going to be my main system, and it kind of starts from digital form into paper, but really take it as the system, not necessarily like the exact planner that I'm using. You know, like I always say, it's not about the planners necessarily, it's the system. And then apply it to yourself, right? Or you could use the same sizes as me and join the fun. Okay, so what I'm going to be using next year is a digital planner. I'm going to use the digital Hobonichi Cousin because it's been working really well for me. This is my initial setup for next year. If you can see, I've kind of already dated like the months and stuff, and yeah, and with a digital planner, of course, everything is hyperlinked. This is just the main page, and I've added kind of like a vision board. If you saw my Hobonichi week setup, you saw that I did a vision board there, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to do a vision board in the digital format as well. And it's so easy because on digital, you can just copy and paste it right into the planner pretty much, like take a photo of it on Pinterest and then just load it through GoodNotes onto whatever page you want. So that's how I kind of set this front page up. It usually does come blank, and I just filled it with these photos. Okay, so this is where I'm going to be doing the bulk, or basically all, I guess, of my weekly and daily planning, like the day-to-day planning, I think. So you'll see that I obviously have a monthly view. In the monthly view, I don't use this as a pre-planner really or anything. I just set this up the first of that month just so that I know what's going on in the month. So, you know, on January 1st or December 31st or whatever, I will set this view up because at that point I'll kind of know my plans. And I'll show you where I'm going to be doing my pre-planning in a minute. It's going to be in the actual disc bound. So in here is going to be, you know, my week-to-week planning, and I'll just show you what I've been doing this year. So this is the same planner, and you'll see that, you know, this is kind of what a filled out weekly would look like. It's been working amazing for me. I always plan at the beginning of the week, usually like on a Sunday night or whatever for the week, and then I add to it throughout the week. So as things come up or whatever, I'll just add it. So right now you can tell like I'm kind of in Wednesday, and Thursday, Friday, there's not as much here because they're just isn't stuff that I had to add, but if there was, I would just continue adding it throughout the week. So that's kind of how I use the weeklies. And for the dailies, what I've been loving about digital planning and what's really kept me in a digital planner is the ease of memory planning within the digital planner form. So I know a lot of people are really good at memory planning, but I am not. I suck at it. I cannot keep a memory planner. I just can't do it because I can't keep up with it, and yeah, I don't love journaling, all that kind of stuff. And I've been able to do it with my digital planner because in GoodNotes, you can literally add things so easily, right? So for example, what I like to do, I'm really like a visual person, and so for the dailies, a lot of the time I like to add photos. So I like that it's integrated with my phone. At the end of the day or the end of the week, I'll just insert photos that I took on whatever specific day, and then that becomes my memory keeper. And if I do feel like writing or journaling, I'll add to it, and if I don't, then I don't. But if I do, and I don't like to handwrite because my handwriting sucks, I'll just type it, right? And if you want to handwrite and make it fun, you can add little drawings, you can do all sorts of things. So that's why I've been loving it. But of course, if you don't like digital, you're really a paper person, you can just go the paper route. And I do love both, and that's why I've created this system that is basically like a 2-in-1 where I can do it either or. And I'm gonna explain that and show you that in a minute. So that's that, because this planner, it is like hyperlinked, of course. So if you go on to read mode, in the weeks, I can jump to, you know, the specific day. I can jump back to the month. I can, you know, go to whatever month I want based on the side tabs. And then I can go into the week that I need to, and then so on and so forth. Like, you can jump around really easily. But the basis of this planner is quite simple. It's your monthly view, your weekly view, and your daily view. And that's how I use it. And that's how I like to keep it. Now, if there are things that I want to reference and I want to keep it in digital form, what I would do is just go into the back of the planner and I'll just insert a reference page and add everything behind there. So this is the current year. At the very back of the planner, I just added a random blank page and added reference to it. And then behind there, I made some notes like this is tracking some medical things and people getting sick in my house. This is like a travel list, a pack list that I have. This is tracking like when we're sick, my period. And like, you know, these are color codes that I like. So you'll see that I do have reference stuff that I do put at the back as well. But for the most part, this planner is really for weekly, daily planning, and then kind of like a month view, okay? And so the next thing that I just want to show you for people who have been asking about how to print this into your planner. So this is the second part, and I'll walk you through all the sections as well, but let me just show you this. So I have all of these pages printed into my half letter discs. And I did this, of course, because like most of you guys can't part with, you know, paper. You just love the feel of paper. You're not ready to go fully digital. It's hard to commit. I totally feel you, and I was in that space, and that's why I did this. So why I chose the half letter size is, one, because the shape of the half letter is relatively similar to your iPad or your like landscape digital planner. So you see it's basically a rectangle. It's not perfect. And so you can tell because when I print it, there's some space at the top and there's some space at the bottom. But it doesn't really bother me. You can add some washi or whatever. Here's how it looks without the washi up and down. Like it's pretty much the same. So it doesn't bother me at all. And that's kind of first the reason why you have to pick something that's similar. And then the second reason is because of how easy it is to have half letter paper, right? If you want to print directly from your digital planner and not have to jig things around and change things, and basically it gets complex, but you can print it on like a letter size paper and cut it in half as well, but it requires some additional effort. But if you want to just print straight from your digital planner into paper planning, you have to have the pre-cut size paper. So while A5 would work as well, you'd have to cut like all your A5 paper or buy A5 paper ahead of time, and I just want to pay the premium for that. Instead, I just take letter paper and I chop it in half, which is super easy, and I load it into my printer. So that's why, because yeah, I just can't be bothered with A5 and you waste paper and it's just annoying. And so those are the two reasons why I chose letters or half letter, sorry. And then how you actually print it is so easy. So you go into your digital planner in GoodNotes, then you hit this little square with the arrow, which is your export button, and you go to print, and you can either print this page or you can print all, okay? So if I just do print this page, then it basically brings you up to your printer, and then, you know, it'll show the size of the paper that you're using. Sorry, I have some photo paper here, but it would show, you know, the paper size, and then you just print it, and that's it. And if you wanted to print a week, which is what I usually do, so at the end of the week, what I do is I would select, you know, the days of that week that I haven't printed yet. If it was those pages, then you just go to export here the same way, put export PDF, and then you would just print with your printer. So here it says print HP because I have an HP printer, and then you would print it, and you could print it double-sided so that it would be done and it would be perfect. Okay, so that's how I do it. Now, if you're the type who kind of wants to do paper planning, but you like the idea of using digital, but you also want to be able to like write on it, you know, with a pencil or a pen or whatever, if you want to write on it as well, what you could do is pre-plan the day. So my friend Gemma here on in the planner community, you guys might know her as Gem Plans. What she does is she'll pre-plan for the day in her planner, in her digital planner, and then she'll print that page at the beginning of the day and then write on it throughout the day or whatever, or reference it through a paper style. and you can absolutely do that as well. The only reason why I don't do that is just because I want to like add photos, and I usually don't have like a full days of photos till the end of the day. And that would be the only reason why I'm not, you know, printing it at the beginning of the day. I have done that with weeks though, where, because I don't put photos in the weeks because it's, you know, too narrow, where I will go and print the week after I've kind of filled it out at the beginning of the week, and then reference it through paper planning, just because you get the feel of paper, and that is really the best of both worlds. So that's how you do that. Okay, and then I wanted to talk about kind of what's in this baby. So here I'm in the LV Desk Agenda, and I really love it. If you guys want a video about covers, we can talk about that as well, because I recently got a cloth and paper one, and I haven't moved in because I'm loving this a bit more than the cloth and paper, but that's a story for another day. So okay, so I've kind of made it a little bit pretty. I really need to update that to November. These are dashboards from EO Edits, and so the dividers are from cloth and paper. So I'll walk you through the sections and kind of further explain this system. So I talked about how in my last video, if you haven't seen that, deep dive part 1, in the Hobonichi weeks, I'm basically doing more of like work planning and social media planning, I guess, and my Etsy shop and all that kind of stuff. And then this is more like life or overall things. So in the digital, I just told you that's how I do kind of the weekly planning. And so that weekly stuff goes into actually my second tab. And you'll see here, I already kind of put in from this year. I kind of started doing this in August, and I print kind of every day, all the weeks and the pages. And I've been just really loving having a physical form of it. And just being able to flip through it if I want to and look at the pictures. So I'm gonna continue doing that, and that's gonna be my second tab. Now, what about pre-planning? So this is where I'm going to bring you to the first section. So what I've always had in my planner, and the system that I abide by, if you guys watch my channel, is GTD, right? So I've always, you know, had the first section or a section in a planner as all of my GTD master lists, right? I don't know if you guys have seen my previous video on this, but I talked about kind of a simplified GTD method, and because I have been using GTD for now like a few years, I feel quite comfortable with the system, and I'm getting to a point where I don't want to migrate from page to page. And previously I do have a digital GTD planner that had a section with GTD lists, and that was great because you could just, you know, copy and paste in digital form and you don't have to write it and migrate it. So that worked for me. But then I decided to, you know, use the landscape planner. I wanted to use the Hobonichi layout. It works really well for my daily planning with the pictures and stuff. And I also noticed that I kind of like my GTD sections on paper or in a different medium, just because it's easier to like whip out and look at. I don't know. That's just what I found. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna add a section in this planner with my GTD stuff. And I didn't want to keep migrating or whatever, so I came up with this simplified GTD method. And this is gonna work so well for me for pre-planning as well. So basically what I created is a dated monthly, and this is available in my shop if you're interested or whatever. I'll link everything down below. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be pre-planning in these monthly pages. And you can already kind of tell I already put some stuff in for January. And then on this side is basically a simplified GTD method. And I'm not going to go through all the details. If you want to learn about it, I'll link the video out here. But essentially it puts all of my GTD master lists into one list, and then I only migrate each month. So at the end of January, anything that I didn't complete here, I will migrate into my February. Okay, so it just makes things a lot easier. And I'm going to use this section to pre-plan, like I said. And so I'm really excited about that. And so that's kind of the beginning of the system. So pre-plan in here, then I'll do my actual weekly planning and all that stuff in the digital planner and all my dailies, and then I print them out and I put it in section 2. Section 3 now is my project area. And so here at the beginning, this is like a project bundle that's in my shop. I have like an index of the projects that are upcoming. I just listed a couple things, Christmas planning, a couple trips that are coming up. And then, yeah, so this is my project section. So I know that in GTD, you have like projects, things that you're classified as projects, right? So for example, if I come up with a project and it's in the true form of GTD where it's just like more than one step, I'm just gonna list it here. Now, if it's a project that actually is like a meaty project, I will put it in this section and like have separate inserts for it because it's gonna take a while and requires a lot of planning. So I printed, for example, I started doing my Christmas planning for this year. So I just printed some project inserts. And in my project inserts, there's a section for events. So I'm using the events one kind of for around the Christmas time because we're gonna host my family. So I have printed out also some holiday sticky notes to stick in different places. So I have a countdown and I kind of just mark down what days we're off because Christmas falls on a Sunday this year. You actually get an extra day on the Tuesday for us. So I just put that there. And then just kind of a wish list of some things I need to buy people, like what I still have to buy. I put down some Christmas events, so like the Santa Claus parade, like the farms around our area that I want to take my girls to and all that. And then kind of a description of what we're doing, so Christmas meal planning, and try to plan out like who we're hosting, what day and whatnot. So that's that. And then I kind of like this because on the day of Christmas, I want to, you know, have kind of a timeline of how the events are going to go, like, you know, present opening, prep this, do that. People are coming over this time, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm already starting it now, even though it's beginning of November. So that's that. And then of course, another type of project, for example, like I said, will be trip planning. So I have this and I haven't gotten it to the shop yet. I'm a bit behind. I wasn't sure if people would be interested. If you are, let me know. If not, it's fine. Is basically a trip planner. And now that COVID is kind of over, I know it's still ongoing, but you know, feels a little bit over sort of, and we're starting to travel again. I created this travel planner selfishly because we actually have 2 big trips that we're going to be doing next year. So I created these so that I could organize for the family, and I really love them, but I just haven't created them in all the sizes to be able to post it. But you can see kind of like all the details of the trip, notes, you know, financials, what to do months and months away, notes the day of, you have your weekly itinerary, activities and stuff you want to do, restaurants you want to see, trip checklist, trip notes, a pack list. You know, I have one for the kids, one for, you know, adults, and then just one that you can make for yourself. So I really actually love this. And I also have even trip outfits. Yeah, now that I look at it again, I'm really excited about it. So I really do need to get it in the shop, I think. I don't know. You guys let me know. So that's the project section. Then here in tab number 4, I just have some extra inserts, and this is just, you know, if I decide for a week that I don't want to do it in digital form, then I can just really easily whip out one of these and tuck it into the agenda section. And then these are, you know, some note pages. This is the collab with Philo Planner or Ally, and some additional notes pages. Okay, and then in section 5, this is a long-term planner. So this is for the next 5 years. I feel like now, like with kids, time goes by so fast because there's so much to do, but there's also so much planning to do, right? Like you have to register for your kids to go to kindergarten like 2 years before, or I guess it's the year before, but like you gotta register for the before and after care like 2 years before. You gotta know when you gotta sign up for this and how many, I don't know. That's how I feel. Do you guys feel like that? Like there's so much to plan for them. It's like they're going to university in year 20, whatever. Anyway, so I got this from Anthology Plans. I will link it below. And it's just a really simple multi-year planner, and she has them every year for 5 years ahead, but you obviously just buy the 1 year. You don't need to update it every year. And it's quite simple in that it just looks like this. It's a little calendar, and then it just, you know, is aligned like that. And this is perfect because all I need to do is some high level notes. So I just put, for example, when does my younger one, switch from the toddler room at daycare to the preschool room, because that's when there's going to be a price drop. So I want to know that. Some high level things about, like, you know, when dance classes are ending, when to start prepping for next year's birthday party because you have to book a venue so long ahead, you know? And even for social media planning, like Hobonichi month is September, and planning for ideas around that. So this is kind of a long-term thing that's outside of the scope of the pre-planning here, where I only basically have like 12 months. So, you know, as I get closer to the end of the year or whatever, and there's plans basically for outside of 2023, 2024 or further, I will put it in this back section here. Okay, and then the last section, of course, is just the reference stuff. This you saw mimics the digital planner, but I just wanted to have a paper copy of it in case I ever need to whip it out. Sometimes when I do things, I'm just writing scribbly notes that I need to keep track of. Like this, I was just trying to figure out on Cricut, you know, the spacing to create dividers and all that kind of stuff, and I wanted to keep a copy of it. This is like a meal plan for my daughter's daycare, and I just wanted to keep track of some of these as meal ideas. And then just kind of random dashboards or whatever things that I want to reference. So that's basically the system for the main planner. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Let me know if you guys found that helpful. If you guys have any questions about this kind of like hybrid system, let me know down below. And if you're interested in like getting started with digital planning, but you just like don't know where to even start, let me know, because I know most of the audience is into like paper planning. But if there's enough of you guys who are more into the digital stuff and like you want to know real basics, like back to the real basics, let me know and I can do some more videos about that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I think I have one more deep dive video for you guys for kind of the rest of the planners, like the memory planning. So one more video on that. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys liked the video, consider subscribing, hit that like button to let me know that you guys, you know, enjoyed this kind of content. And also it just really helps support my channel. So I really appreciate it. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.